Let us begin by imagining a quiet night. The world is still. The breeze outside your window barely stirs the curtains. Your room is dark, your bed is warm, and your body feels heavy, the good kind of heavy, where every limb feels ready to surrender to rest. But just as sleep starts to deepen, that annoying signal, a pressure, a discomfort, you open your eyes. Again, it's 1:30 a.m. and your bladder is calling. Again, sound familiar? For many seniors, this isn't just an occasional inconvenience. Waking up to 3, even 4 times a night to pee has become a norm. But what if I told you that you could retrain your body not by drinking less, but by drinking smarter? Our bodies are wise, but they respond to patterns, they respond to rhythm. And over the years, many of us unknowingly have created a rhythm that tells our bladder to be active at night instead of resting. Let's change that today. The question is not how much you drink, it is when. Many people believe hydration is simply about quantity, that drinking more water leads to better health. But that belief, left unexamined, becomes the source of unnecessary discomfort, especially in the later stages of life. It is not volume alone that brings vitality, it is rhythm. Just as nature obeys the rising and setting of the sun, the human body is designed to move in cycles. There is a time to wake, a time to eat, a time to rest, and a time to sleep. Each of these moments carries a unique vibration. When water enters the body out of sync with these rhythms, the body becomes confused. When the body is confused, symptoms arise, one of which is the frequent need to wake up and urinate during the night. A man once came to a monastery high in the mountains. He was in his 70s, carrying with him the weight of years and a face carved by time. His concern was simple. I sleep lightly. I wake up 3-4 times each night. My bladder doesn't let me rest. The teacher did not answer immediately. Instead, he handed the man a bamboo ladle and pointed to a stream. Watch the water, then return. The old man sat by the stream for several hours. He noticed how in the early morning the water flowed quickly. By midday it was calm, and as dusk approached, the stream became sluggish, silent. When he returned, the teacher asked, "Did you see the rhythm?" The man nodded. "Good," said the teacher. "Now drink like the stream." This is the essence of hydration in old age, to match the rhythm of your intake with the natural energy of the day. The body is not a machine to be filled whenever the mind desires. It is a garden. Water it wisely, and it will thrive. Overwater it at the wrong hour, and the roots will drown. The morning is the most sacred time for water. After many hours of sleep, the body is parched. But this thirst is not just in the throat, it is in the cells, in the bloodstream, in the nervous system. A glass of water within 30 minutes of waking does more than quench thirst. It signals the body to begin. It tells the organs that the day has begun. The liver prepares to cleanse, the kidneys start their filtration. The digestive tract wakes from its stillness. Many elderly people skip this first moment. They wait for tea, they wait for breakfast, they wait for thirst. But thirst is a sign that you are already behind. By the time you feel it, the imbalance has begun. The body is already drawing moisture from tissues, weakening the flow of vital energy. Drinking water first thing in the morning is not about habit. It is about aligning with the pulse of nature. There was once a calligrapher who began each day with a single brushstroke, not a word, not a symbol, just one stroke. He did this before sunrise, before speaking, before eating. When asked why, he replied, "The first movement of the day carries my intention. If I do not guide it, the day leads me, but if I shape it, the day follows me." Water is that stroke. When it enters the body first, gently and purposefully, the rest of the day takes its form. The second essential moment is mid-morning, between the fading of early energy and the buildup of appetite. This is when the fire of the body begins to rise. Mental activity increases. Muscles begin to engage. Circulation demands support. A second glass of water at this time acts like a steadying force. It prevents the overheating of the system. That reduces the burden on the heart and sharpens attention. Many seniors feel tired around this time, not because of age, but because the body is trying to operate with insufficient fuel. People think of hydration only in terms of kidney health or digestion, but the mind also depends on water. Blood is mostly water, and the brain, the seat of memory and clarity, is nourished by that blood. A dry system leads to a foggy mind. Just as a river becomes shallow when the rain doesn't come, so too does the mind become dull when hydration is neglected. In martial tradition, there is a saying, "You sharpen the blade before the battle, not after." Likewise, you hydrate before the signs of fatigue, not once they appear. The mid-morning glass prevents the body from reaching the edge of exhaustion. It allows energy to remain constant, rather than rise and fall in waves. At this point, the system is fully active. The digestive fire is preparing for food. The mind is alert. The muscles are in motion. A well-timed drink of water ensures that all these elements continue working in harmony. More importantly, it reduces the need for large, late-day fluid intake, the very habit that fills the bladder when the body most needs stillness. There is a misunderstanding that drinking water later in the day is better because it keeps you hydrated through the night. This belief, if not examined, becomes a trap. What it truly does is overload the kidneys at a time when they should be slowing down. The result is a full bladder, pressure on the urinary tract, and sleep broken into fragments. Deep rest becomes impossible. If a tree is watered too late in the day, its roots sit in wet soil all night. The moisture cannot evaporate. It leads to decay, not growth. In the same way, the elderly body needs space in the evening, not excess. Liquid, space, breathing room, the chance to cool, to settle, to drift into the gentle rhythm of sleep without interruption. A woman once spoke of her frustration. I drink all day, but I still wake up every 2 hours to urinate. I thought water was supposed to help. She was drinking. Yes, but she was drinking reactively, not rhythmically. Once she began front-loading her hydration, a glass upon waking, another mid-morning, something changed. Her nights became quieter. Her dreams returned. Her body remembered how to rest. It is not always about doing more. Sometimes it is about doing differently. The path to peaceful sleep is not lined with sleeping pills or willpower alone. It begins with simple shifts, quiet decisions that honor the wisdom of the body. Drinking water in the early hours is one such shift. It creates a wave that carries you forward instead of one that crashes over you at night. The body listens. The body remembers. Treat it with rhythm, and it will give you rest. The sun does not fall suddenly. It lowers itself slowly, retreating. With care, the sky softens, colors change, the air cools, and the world prepares itself for stillness. This is nature's way of transitioning from movement to rest. In the human body, the same transition must occur. Yet for many, this natural descent into peace is interrupted not by noise, not by thought, but by the weight of a full bladder calling them from sleep. To understand how this happens, one must observe the hours between late afternoon and nightfall. Many believe that hydration in the evening is necessary to maintain health through sleep. They fear that drinking less at night may lead to dehydration. But what is missed in this logic is the rhythm of elimination. The body needs time to process, time to release, time to empty. What is taken in late cannot be dealt with late. It must wait until the body is already resting, and in doing so it disturbs the very sleep it was meant to protect. The wise do not flood the soil before dusk. They allow moisture to settle earlier, so the roots can rest through the night. In the same way, drinking large quantities of water in the hours close to sleep becomes a burden on the kidneys and the bladder. It forces the body to stay active when it should be surrendering to stillness. Overhydration at this hour leads not to wellness, but to broken rest. There was an old craftsman in a quiet village who built wind chimes from bamboo. He worked silently, always finishing his work by sunset. One day a visitor asked, "Why not work into the night? The moon is bright. You could make more." The craftsman replied, "The sound of the bamboo must be tuned in silence, not with the noise of the day. If I keep filling the night with tasks, there is no room for the music to come." In the same way, when the body is filled with too much fluid late in the day, there is no space left for the silence of sleep to enter. The final hydration point of the day should be like a whisper, small, subtle, thoughtful. It should happen in the mid-afternoon, ideally when the energy of the day begins to lower but the sun is still present. Around 2:30 to 3 p.m., the body is shifting. It no longer needs high intensity. What it needs is sustenance and balance. A moderate glass of water at this hour is not too much, but enough to gently support the organs, especially the heart and kidneys, without overwhelming them. This timing gives the body a few more hours to process and eliminate fluid before the body is called to rest. It also creates a sense of calm, both mentally and physically. Water taken at this time nourishes the blood, supports clear thought, and lowers internal tension. It supports the immune system without provoking the bladder. Later in the night, in the martial path, students are taught not to strike with all their strength in the beginning. They learn to conserve energy, to deliver their strongest movement when it is most needed. Hydration follows the same principle. It is not about how much you give the body, but when and with what intention. A wise person does not flood the system in the evening, but offers it just enough to maintain harmony. Now comes the final principle, the fifth moment of hydration. This one, while optional, holds deep power. It takes place between 4:30 and 5 p.m., just before the evening meal. This glass of water is not large, and it is not taken in haste. It is taken slowly, with awareness. The purpose of this water is to support digestion, reduce inflammation, and prevent excessive thirst at dinner. It is not about hydration for the night. It is about preparation for rest. This timing allows the kidneys to complete their primary filtration cycle while the body is still upright and active. Fluids processed now will be released naturally before bedtime. The bladder will empty without protest, and when the body finally lies down, it can do so without interruption. An elderly gardener once said, "If I water my plants too late, the leaves stay wet, and disease comes. But if I water them as the light fades, they drink just enough, and sleep like I do without worry." His observation holds wisdom beyond the garden. The human body too is a living garden. It must be watered early so that its roots can rest. In dryness through the night, late night thirst is often the result of earlier neglect. It is not natural to crave water at bedtime unless the body has been denied what it needed in the daylight. By observing the earlier times, morning, mid-morning, and afternoon, one prevents this late thirst. The cycle completes itself, and the body learns there is no need to wake up and cry out for relief. There is also a deeper lesson. Drinking water with timing teaches patience and discipline. It is a daily practice, a form of quiet training. Each glass becomes a moment of presence, a chance to check in with the body, to listen to what is needed, not what the mind thinks, but what the body truly asks for. In many traditions, the act of drinking water is sacred. It is not rushed. It is not mindless. It is an offering to the body, a form of respect. When that offering is made in harmony with time, the body responds with trust. It no longer clings to water. It no longer overreacts. It releases what it does not need and keeps only what serves it. There was a grandmother who lived near a river. She would wake with the sun, fill a copper cup, and sip quietly while looking out at the flowing water. Her grandchildren once asked why she didn't drink at night like their parents did. She smiled and said, "The river does not rise at night. It slows. I am like the river." Her nights were calm, her sleep undisturbed. Her body understood the rhythm. The modern world often moves against nature. It tells us to drink when convenient, to eat when distracted, to rest only when exhausted. But the body remembers an older wisdom. It knows the sun, the soil, the rhythm of breath, and the timing of water. When we return to this wisdom, we do not need to struggle. Health becomes a companion, not a pursuit to prevent the night from becoming a battleground of wakefulness. The late afternoon and early evening must be treated with care. These are the closing pages of the day's story. If we write them with too much force, the ending becomes chaotic. But if we write them with precision and peace, the night opens itself to deep rest. Water is life. But even life, to be harmonious, must follow form. Let the body drink when it can digest. Let it release before it sleeps. Let it be full in the day and empty in the night. This is the way of nature. This is the way of peace. So the question becomes, will you set your own bowl? When your sleep improves, your mood does too. Your blood pressure lowers. Your memory sharpens. Your heart gets stronger. Sleep is the quiet healer, and it begins by giving your bladder a break. So drink, but drink at the right time. Your nights are yours. Let them be undisturbed, deep, and filled with rest.